Flosstubers, it's me, it's Natalie, from Tilly Talk Stitching. This is my first Flosstube. It's a really cool community, Flosstubers, so I thought I'd take the plunge and join in. It's really friendly and open, so it's my first Flosstube video. Hope you enjoy it. I'm also doing it as a way to kind of keep myself accountable. I don't have a tremendous amount of stitchy time, and I find it sometimes quite difficult to pick up that piece when I've got a little bit of time. You know, I'm a full-time working mum. I commute about 120 miles to get to my job each way, 2 days a week. My husband does shifts and he does the same, so it's quite hectic, it can be quite difficult. So I thought by doing these updates it might kind of push me so that I have a few more finishes, get a little bit done on all of the stuff that I've bought. So that's kind of why I've done it. So I thought today I'd probably do the needle worker tag, Know Your Needle Worker. It's a really quick and easy tag. I think it's quite nice. I like hearing about it from other Flosstubers. So again, let's take the plunge and do that. I'll show you a couple of the WIPs that I'm working on. Considering that I haven't been stitching that long, I've got quite a few WIPs. Serial starter, I'm sure quite a few of us are like that. And I do so admire the people that can kind of stick to one project. That's just not me. I find it quite boring, and unfortunately at the moment I'm having to stick to one project, and you'll see that in a little minute. Then some of the bits and pieces that I've bought, there was a stitchy show on at the Birmingham NEC this weekend at the same time as Comic-Con, so I took my little boy to the Comic-Con with my husband, and I got free entry into the stitching hobbycraft show, and that was great. So I went there and I probably spent an amazing amount of money in a really short space of time. Yeah, shouldn't be allowed out with a bank card or anything of that nature. And then I took the plunge and started ordering some hand-dyed fabrics. Just a little bit daunting when you first start stitching, but I found some really cool colours and everyone was like, oh, you should go for it, you should try it, and that's what I've done. I've bought some really cool fabrics, and now I think is the start of a new addiction. Hand-dyed fabrics are so gorgeous, so gorgeous. And then talk a little bit about my plans, which is probably an exercise in futility, because my plans very rarely go to plan. Yeah, and that'll be it for today. So the first bit I said that I would do is Know Your Needle Worker tag. Where do I live? I live near Birmingham. I live in a place called Dudley. It's just kind of northwest of Birmingham. It's not that far at all. It's about, I don't know, 20 minutes drive into the city centre. And yeah, I've recently relocated back here from London. I lived in London for 10 years with my husband. And then you cannot buy a house in London unless you are a millionaire, and so we moved back here. My family's here, and it's really lovely. I have a lovely place. It's right by the canal, so I'm really looking forward to summer, sitting outside, hopefully with some stitching, cup of tea, watching the boats go by. It'll be lovely. What's my job is the second question, I think. I'm a project manager. I am an IT project manager, so little bits of software, content management, all of that kind of thing. It's not very glamorous, but I really enjoy it. I like the organising aspect of it. I like being able to tell people what to do and have them do it. And then at the end, it's interesting because projects are only for a defined length of time, and you get something tangible at the end of it. So I really enjoy that. I'm enjoying my role at the moment. I work for quite a big company that's fairly well known in the legal world for their software projects, and that's kind of what I work on. Do I have children? I have one. I have a beautiful, rambunctious, energetic little boy called James. He's 4.5 years old. He's due to start school in September, so it's a big step for us there. I don't know that I'm ready for that. I still think he's a little bit young. But yeah, he's kind of the light of my life. I really can't imagine, I can't even remember what it was like without him. So I think most parents are that way. But yeah, that's my little boy. What are my other hobbies? Oh boy, how long you got? I am a serial hobby starter. I find something new and I kind of just dive straight in. So I've done card making and scrapbooking. I've got so much stuff, and I really need to kind of do a little bit more of that to justify the amazing amount of money that I spent on that. I did jewellery making for a bit. The one thing that I do with my husband is we play board games. So not like Monopoly or anything like that. It's, I don't know, what's the ones you've probably heard of? I don't know. Settlers of Catan, that seems to be fairly popular. But yeah, that's a fairly big hobby. There's a lot of conventions, you spend a lot of money. We have a lot of games. We have, I wouldn't be surprised to say we have in excess of 300 games. But it's a really nice thing that we can do as a family now with James getting older. There's a lot of lovely kid games really teach him a lot, and it's, for me and my husband, it's something we can do together, because, you know, we can't really get babysitters. Until we moved back to the West Midlands, we couldn't really get babysitters, so it's something we could do in the house together, some family time. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and I do urge you, if you're kind of looking for something to do a little bit different, go play board games. It's a lot of fun. I know there's some cross stitchers that I spoke to, either on Stitch Mania or Cross Stitch Addicts, and we were all kind of bemoaning the fact that there are no patterns for these particular board games. So I was thinking, when I get a bit braver, I might try and, I don't know, make my own patterns, but that's quite a way down the road. I think I've got all the artistic ability of your average garden slug, so we'll see how that goes. Favourite movie? Wow, okay. I am a fairly avid consumer of all types of media, so it would be quite difficult to pick my favourite movie. What am I going to do? I'm going to pick the one that's my favourite at the time, and this is Ghostbusters, the new one. I love that movie so much. I'm watching it on a constant loop, and I'm quoting it like mad, which is driving my husband up the wall. But that's my favourite movie at the moment. I'm really enjoying that. My favourite television show. So I am watching Grimm like it's my job at the moment, so whenever I've got spare minutes on in the background when I'm stitching, if I'm not watching Flosstube, I'm watching Grimm. But my favourite television show of all time is The West Wing. Yeah, everything about that is perfect. Some parts haven't dated particularly well, but yeah, I would regularly rewatch that. It's my comfort show, and it kind of is how I wish the world was. It's lovely. I really do enjoy watching it. Favourite book? I am an intense reader. I read a lot. I read all the time. You know, when I can. As I mentioned before, I have a fairly long commute. Because the trains I'm on is quite bouncy, I can't really do a lot of stitching. It's quite difficult, and it's quite cramped, and it's very, you know, there's a lot of people on the train, so I read a lot of books. My favourite book? Oh dear. I would have to say The Handmaid's Tale. Absolutely. It's the one that I read it when I was 17, and it stayed with me. I do a regular reread of it. And then anything kind of by Stephen King. I really like urban fantasy. I'm on a bit of a kick of that at the moment, so I don't know, Kim Harrison, Patricia Briggs, Kelly Gay, J. Wells. They're all, you know, if you like urban fantasy, you should check those ladies out. They're fantastic. Favourite music? I will listen to everything. But I'm more of a rock girl. I prefer my rock, so I don't know, Three Doors Down, something corporate, Metallica, Lifehouse, Bon Jovi, Def Leppard, all of those kind of rock staples. I'm probably showing my age now because I don't really keep up with current music, but that's the stuff that I like. And then finally, one word to describe me. Oh dear, well, that's difficult. Just the one. Probably chatty. I like to have a chat. I like to listen as well. All of those. Maybe a conversationalist, I don't know. Something along those lines. It's not a bad thing, I don't think. Anyway, so that's the Know Your Needlework tag, which I quite like. That's quite nice. I've seen some of the others around. So there's what's the one? A Stash Enabler one, which I think Stash Queen did, which is great. I'm not in a position to do that. Recently, I only started stitching kind of last June, and it was one of my friends from a card making class that I went to. I love Christmas. I love Christmas. I'm so excited about Christmas, and we're only in March. And so I was kind of saying, oh well, I'd like to do something more Christmassy around card making, because I was all of my card making stuff, it's quite hard to get out. She said, oh well, why don't you try some stitching? And down the rabbit hole I went. But I can't do the kind of stash enabler a bit because I don't have a lot of stash at the moment. I just buy patterns and buy what I need for those patterns. That's changed recently, believe you me. I just ordered a few patterns from Nashville, from Cindy Sawley, and I also ordered a bunch of floss from Fabrics by LJ. They looked fantastic and I couldn't resist, and they're only $2.50, and in real money that's like £2. Can't say no. So that's, I didn't say no. I ordered a bunch of them, so they're coming. I'm very excited about that, so that'll be in my next haul video, hopefully. What am I working on at the moment? So I have a lot of WIPS. I'm a serial starter. I'm not going to show them all to you today because I have about 8 or 9 and no one's here for that. No one's got that kind of time. And it also means I've got to go and kind of dig it all out. But the two that I'm kind of concentrating on at the moment, one is one that I started last year. And it's Harry Potter Stylized Castle by Stitch Line. Let me see if I can show you. Oh, yeah, here we go. That's straight. No, there we go. So that's it. So I kind of go through spurts. So the last time I worked on it for a week, yeah, I did all of this. So all of this bit I did in a week, which I was really quite impressed with. I really kind of settled down, just thought, you know what, I'm going to knock this all out. And I did. So from the green bit here, all along, all of this I did. And a bit down here. So yeah, I was really impressed that I managed to get all that done. And so at the moment I'm trying to work on this, but I'm finding this bit here. So all of this, if you don't know the pattern, and I can't show it to you obviously, so all of this under here will be underneath the castle. And I'll pop a picture of what it's supposed to look like in the video, so you can see what it's going to look like. But underneath here will be, oh, you can't see, underneath here will be is it the basilisk? Yeah, so it's going to look really cool. I don't know where it's going to go yet. My little boy quite likes Harry Potter, so maybe in his room, I don't know, but his room's superhero themed, so I don't know if he'll let me, therefore it'll have to go somewhere in my house. I don't know. But I'm really enjoying doing that at the moment. Need to make a concerted effort to finish it. Been working on it for like 8 months. It needs to be done. Get it out of my hair. So that's cool. And the other thing that I'm really concentrating on for the rest of this, well, actually it needs to be done in the next 8 days. And the reason for that, I'll just show it to you. So this was kind of my first foray into stitching on specifically bought non-white Ada. I've only really stitched on Ada. I've started a little bit on 28 count Lugana, which I'm enjoying, and I think I'm enjoying. I'm not sure. I haven't done enough stitching on it with I think this is the Home of a Needlework one, which I think everyone's doing because it's so cute. But I've only just done a little bit of it, and it's quite difficult to get used to. It's not necessarily the size of the holes, they're fine. I have a magnifying glass, and once you get used to it, you know, it's fine. But it's the feel of it. So Ada is, as you know, starchy and quite stiff, and it kind of only goes stuff when you handle it, whereas it's quite difficult to hold Lugana, and I'm an in-hand stitcher, so I don't use hoops or frames or anything like that. I did try. It was making my shoulders hurt and my arms hurt, whereas in-hand stitch is quite relaxed. It's quicker as well, and I am inherently a lazy person. So there's that. So this is the second thing that I'm working on this month. Just show it to you. There we go. This is going to be backwards for you, I think. Oh no, maybe not. And this is a Stitch Rovia pattern, and it's beautiful. And what I did is I did a thread conversion. So this was just supposed to be DMC 3408 or something along those lines, and I actually switched it out for WIPS Dye Works Caribbean, which is a beautifully variegated thread. I'll just show you. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at those blues and teals. Just stunning. My favourite colours. And so the reason that this needs to be done by the end of the month is that it's our wedding anniversary on the 16th of April. Teal was our colour for our wedding. All of my bridesmaids were in teal, and it's just going to be something really sweet as an anniversary present from my husband, so don't tell anyone. I'm hoping he doesn't see this. I'll have to pretend that I haven't done my video yet. He knows that I'm going to start doing Flosstube, but I won't tell him I've done the first one until after he's received this as his gift. So those are the two things that I have for the rest of the month. That, as I say, needs to be finished by the 28th because I need to have time to go and get it framed, wrap it, and make sure that's all done. You know, when I put my mind to it, I can get through it quite swiftly. As I say, in-hand stitcher tends to be a little bit quicker than working on a hoop or a frame and going behind. So yeah, hoping that it comes out, and hopefully I'll have an FFO to show to you the next update, wherever that might be. Right, now onto the bit we all love. The bit we all wait for. The haul. So I took the plunge. I did. I took the plunge. I ordered some hand-dyed fabrics from, and I always want to say Chromatic Academy, and it's really not, it's Chromatic Alchemy. And it was a 4-week turnaround time, which was great. It's exactly what it was supposed to be. And I bought 3. So, and 2 of them I bought with something in mind, and one of them I just really like the look of, so I'm going to have to find something to stitch on it. So this is Guillaume. I think that's how you say it. Yeah. And it's just this, I'm not sure if the light's going to be good enough in here to show, but it's this beautiful kind of soft, bluey, mottled grey. It's not too mottled, but it's a lovely, I don't know, let's see if we can, yeah, okay, so that's quite, yeah, you can see that. So it's a beautiful, soft, bluey, mottled grey, and I do have plans for this one. I have a local stitching shop to me, which is fantastic. I didn't buy the house because of that, honestly, but it was a godsend when I found out. It's like 8 minutes away. It's brilliant. It's really good. It's what is it? Betty Stitch Kit, and it's in Quarry Bank in Dudley. And so I went there, and they had kind of all the Lizzie Kate patterns, which you can't really kind of get without spending some money on postage here. And so I bought the 6 Fat Men series, so the little snowman. And I bought that to go with that because I didn't want white Ada, and I've seen it stitched on kind of mottled tea stained fabric, and I didn't particularly like that, because I think most things that you see are stitched on that, and because it's a really good neutral colour, but I wanted something a little bit different, so I went for that. I don't know when I'll start it. It's a Christmas pattern, so I'm probably not going to be really able to hold off on it long, because I do like stitching Christmas things. Not that I ever finish anything, but hey ho. The wonderful Queen of Starts and Stash Queen show that you don't have to finish anything if you don't want to. It's your hobby, do what you want, don't stress out about it. I fully sign up to that. Right, yeah, don't stress. I see lots of stressing. Don't stress, it's too much fun. If you're not having fun, do something else. You know, if you're a one at a time stitcher, go crazy, stitch one at a time. Don't be doing all your multiple starts, it's not going to make you happy. If you're like me, you can't wait to start something, start it. Life's too short, Jesus, go for it. So the next one that I bought from Chromatic Alchemy, and I do have something in mind for this. I've not bought the pattern yet, but we all know I'm gonna, right? I mean, come on. So the next one is Vincent by Chromatic Alchemy. You'll see I'm buying 18 count Ida. I like the smaller counts. I hate working on 14 count. It's too big, too many strands. And as I said, I really haven't started stitching on even weave that much. So this is beautiful. You know, I love this. Look at that. Look at that. I'm not sure if it's really showing up wonderfully well, but my word, look at the yellows, and it really is Starry Night, isn't it? It's just beautiful. So I'm loving that. I love it. Love it, love it. And there is a pattern, a labyrinth pattern by Fiddlesticks AU called, and it's just a sampler with You Have No Power Over Me with a little worm from Labyrinth in the bottom. And I think I'm probably going to do that on this. And the reason for that is it's going to look really pretty, but the pattern itself from Fiddlesticks has quite a few light elements, which I don't think, for me, show up very well on a light piece material, whereas I think this is going to provide a really nice contrast in the background. So I'm really excited to start stitching that. That's I'm buying that pattern. You know that, right? Of course I am. And then the final one. This was a punt. This was a, do you know what? Don't know what it's going to look like. Might be too dark. Don't know what I'm going to do with it. I bought a smaller size. Kicking myself now. Wish I'd have bought a bigger size. So this is Maelstrom. Again by Chromatic Alchemy. Opal Ida. 13 by 18. So it's a fat eighth. I don't know. It's not a fat quarter. I don't know that much. It's, you know, I should have got a bigger size. I should have got a bigger size. I should have just said, you know what, stuff it. Double your price. Get the bigger size. But no, I'm an idiot. Look at that. Isn't that stunning? I want to stitch all of the things on this. All of the things. Forever. Should be stitched on this. It's beautiful. And you're not really getting the... Oh, you're just about getting the sparkle. Look at that. It's beautiful. So, the dilemma I have with this piece is this. I have got a Mirabilia, Mermaid of Atlantis. Don't have it to hand. You all know what it looks like. That my husband bought me for Christmas when I did not know what I was getting into. I just saw it, I thought it looked gorgeous, and then I get it and I'm like, ah, that's fine. And it's kind of when I join groups and realise that actually Mirabilia are, you know, challenging stitches. I was like, go big or go home, that's what I say. So I started stitching. The fabric that came, it was a kit. He was able to purchase a kit for me. The fabric that came with the kit is like an olive green, and I swear up and down it's 14 count. I think I counted it at Christmas when I started gridding it, it was 14 count. And that was before I realised I really don't like working on 14 count. And so I started stitching it. And I did kind of one of the big motifs at the top, and then I started on her hair. I just wasn't loving it. I was having to use 3 strands because 2 strands for me doesn't give particularly good coverage for 14 count. And so I just kind of put it away. And then every time I go to pick it up, I'm like, no, I don't love this. But the problem I have is this. This, I think, is a smidgen too small to fit her on. I mean, she can fit, but instead of having 3 inches at the top and 3 inches at the bottom, we're going to have 2, just under 2. Am I brave enough? I might be, because this is a gorgeous piece of fabric, and I think she'd look lovely on it. I think she'd look absolutely beautiful. And of course the other problem is last week I went to Stitch Mania, obviously, and asked the question, should I just undo everything I've done and start stitching her on something else? And they're like, yeah, go crazy. And someone, I think, I know definitely was Denkai, Charisse Raven, and one other lady, and I can't remember your name and I'm very sorry, recommended a website that you can go and kind of select your pattern and select your fabric, and it will show you, it will give you a rough idea of what it looks like. So I went there, I found fabric, I went and bought it, and that's coming, and then I received this. I ain't stitching her twice, so I don't know. But the fabric that's coming is beautiful. But I don't know. What do I do? Maybe I should wait for it to come and then decide. Yeah, why not? We'll do that. Anyway, so that's my fabric haul. And then, as I mentioned, at the weekend I went to the stitching show at the NEC. Well, it was more machine stitching and you know, beautiful hanks of fabric. Now, I am not a machine stitcher. I've not got either the time or the patience for that, so I don't do that. But there was quite a few. There was I believe 4 or 5 cross stitch stores, which is enough. Which is enough. Oh God, look at that. Which is, you know, just enough to do some damage. And I bought 4 patterns. I don't know why. I already have 8 WIPS. Why would I don't know. And I don't do little patterns. I don't really enjoy them. I started off with little patterns. I got a dimensions kit at the very beginning, and it was like little Christmas ornaments, and the amount of colour changes and stuff just wasn't for me. I like medium to large patterns where you're stitching on a block of colour at a time and you can really kind of get into the flow of it. I'm not huge on big colour changes. Yeah, so everything I've bought's not small. And these are the things that, from a new stitcher point of view, unless you know they're there, you're not going to know about them. You know, you're not finding these on Etsy unless you're going trawling through the hundreds and thousands of patterns that various online stitchy places have, or you're looking for something specific. You're not going to find them. So I find these shows where these patterns are already kitted up and printed to be invaluable for finding new places to go and get patterns. You know, sometimes you just need to kind of get your hands on them, right? So this is the first one that I bought. Cosmos by Barbara Thompson. Art Deco. And it just called to me. I don't know why. The colours for sure. And there's quite a lot of beading going on here. All of the silver bits here. That's all beading. Never done beading before, but hey, why not? And it was just, they had a, was it model stitch of it? It looked beautiful. So I got that. And you can still see how much I paid for it. The next thing I got was this, and it's a Derwent Water Designs, and it's Winterbourne Farm. I love my winter stuff. And it's just like a little scene. Love winter, love Christmas. So this was, there was no way this wasn't getting bought. Looking forward to stitching on that. I might start that one actually. I might start that one or the next one. Now this is not my style at all. Summer for a start. Can you see that without the glare? There we go. Yeah, so this is a Warwickshire village, and actually Warwickshire isn't too far from where we live now. It's 40 minutes away. So Warwickshire Castle's, listen to me, Castle, oh my god. Warwickshire Castle is not very far away, and we go there with the boy. So this is not my style. My husband was with me and he said, oh, I really like that. So, oh, okay, well, sometimes I think, for me personally, not telling you what to do, it's nice to kind of step out of your comfort zone. So I'm going to give this a whirl. But a lot of confetti things going on in the roofs there, so I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I think it'll be lovely when it's done. And then finally, I got this from the Historic Sampler Company. Oh, I got this from the Historic Sampler Company. So let me just show you. See that? You can't see it, but up here it says Silent Night. Just there, Silent Night. And that's quite quick. And my little boy picked this. He gets very excited. He's like, oh, Mummy, can we try your stitching? I was like, okay, well, you pick something for Mummy, you can come and help. I don't know how I'm going to get him to help. I've got some scrap pieces of fabric and some leftover thread, and I'm more than perfectly happy to have him sit with me and do some stitching. I'll dig out the piece that he did at Christmas. It's quite hilarious, just random threads everywhere. It's lovely. Anyway, so those are the things that I've bought this month. Yeah, spent a lot of money. Can't happen every month. Probably will happen every month. I'm not going to lie to myself. I'm not going to lie to you. That's what's going to happen. So to finish off, Jesus, I've been speaking for 27 minutes. Oh my god, I told you I was chatty. So my plans for this month, as I said, are to finish off the anniversary piece for my husband. Get a long way on the Harry Potter. Like, I want that done. I'm bored now. That just needs to be done and finished. It might even get to the point where I start just omitting bits. That's kind of what I do. Yeah. I get bored. It's a failing. Do you know what I forgot to show you? My one and only final finished object, but I'll do that next time. I know you'll be sitting on the edge of your seats. As I say, I've only been stitching for a year. I start a lot, I don't finish a lot. I do big pieces, I don't do little pieces. Therefore, I have one final finished object, which was supposed to be for Christmas. I finished it on the 28th of December, and it was framed for my birthday. So that did not go to plan. However, I'm not giving up. That sucker's hanging up. I'm not putting that away. No. Too much time was spent on that, and I love Christmas. That sucker's hanging in my kitchen, just behind the camera, right here. It's hanging up. I ain't putting that away. That's never going away. That's staying up forever. I'm so proud of it. In any case, I'll show that to you next time. So I'm not sure how often I'll be updating. As I say, I don't really get a tremendous amount of stitchy time between commuting and full-time work and my husband working shifts and a 4-year-old running around the place and all of that kind of stuff. No busier than anybody else, but the commuting is a killer from time to time, so I don't necessarily stitch a tremendous amount. However, Mother's Day is coming up, and quite frankly, if I haven't got a day of stitching on Mother's Day, it's going to kick off. That's all I want from a present. I want anything else. I want a day of stitching, so hopefully I'll get that. In any case, I hope you have a wonderful stitchy time. I hope you get all of the things that you want. I hope you have I hope your stitches lay nicely. I hope they don't fray, and I hope the frog stays away. And in that case, given all those things should happen, I will catch you on the flip side.